Russian troops launched another series of combined strikes on enemy facilities in the rear regions of so-called Ukraine. In Lviv, a missile hit a substation, causing problems with the city's electricity supply. In turn, Ukrainian forces massively shelled Belgorod from Czech RM-70 Vampire MLRs. 7 people were killed, 19 people were wounded, and widespread damage was recorded throughout the city. In neighboring Kursk region, a Ukrainian drone attacked an oil depot in the village of Polovaya. A large fire broke out at the facility, which took more than 10 hours to extinguish. Meanwhile, in the Special Operations Zone, Russian troops continue to advance in several directions. Near Siversk, assault squads managed to slightly expand their zone of control in the Vesela neighborhood. The most dynamic developments are taking place in the Avdiivka direction, where Russian units are engaged in fierce fighting. In the north of the city, the Russian armed forces advanced along Industrial Avenue and almost reached the territory of the coke plant. At the same time, Russian troops are entrenching themselves in the wooded area towards the village of Lastashkin. Not far from the settlement is the Durna Galley, through which the AFU still retains the possibility of supply. On the southern flank, assault squads have occupied the territories of the Zenit and Cheburashka fortifications, planting the Russian flag on the sites. At the same time, the cleanup of the garden community Vinogradniki 2 continues, from which a significant part of the enemy forces hastily retreated. Ukrainian forces also retreated in the vicinity of the Donetsk water purification station to the neighboring wooded areas. The enemy had previously managed to regain control of the facility, but this time, the AFU's situation is much more stalemated. Southwest of Donetsk, Russian units continue to storm the defense of Ukrainian forces in the southern part of 𝐒𝐤𝐫𝐚𝐢𝐴. At the moment, the main clashes are taking place on Lenina Street, where the Russian armed forces managed to advance up to 24 houses. On the Vuhledar direction, Russian units continue to storm Novomikhailivka from 2 sides. On the northern flank, the attackers have significantly advanced along the O0531 highway, gaining a foothold on the outskirts of the dairy farm. At the same time, fierce fighting continues in the central part of the village. Russian troops are mopping up enemy positions, advancing along Timiryaziva Street. Meanwhile, in the Orikhiv direction, the Ukrainian command is also preparing for the Russian troops' offensive. Against the background of an increase in the grouping of the Russian armed forces, the enemy is hastily redeploying additional forces to the front line to strengthen the defense.